Hello, friends, and welcome to a very special edition of Strictly Sports. I know we said we were going to be postponed indefinitely because of all the madness in the world nowadays, but for at least this week only, we actually have some content to address. So we are going to get into that content tonight. Not sure about next week and forward, but one thing is for sure, tonight we will indeed bring you some great content here tonight. Anthony Florio, your host here, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher, awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock. I'm not sure where he is. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we should very likely have him tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, which will be a very exciting show to say the very least. But a lot of things going on. Well, it's really one sport, really, and that's the NFL. The NFL has come forward with so much news over the last few days, and we were like, screw this nonsense in the world. We're going to bring this to you here tonight. So I've broken it down into three parts. Part one, the biggest bomb of the week so far, Tom Brady. We're going to address that first. Then we're going to get into the new CBA agreement. And then to close it out, we will share our thoughts on all the notable hot stove transactions. And there have been a lot of them. But the biggest one of them all, we couldn't just put it into that. We had to give this its own segment, and rightfully so. New England Patriot fans, cover your ears. You do not want to hear this. Tom Brady. It's the end of an era. Just hours after announcing he would not be returning to the New England Patriots, Tom Brady found his next destination. TB12 is on his way to TB. Brady has finalized an agreement to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a deal worth roughly $30 million a year, reported by NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, per a source informed. Brady's big move down south comes after a whirlwind day of speculation. Brady announced early Tuesday morning that he would not return to the Patriots in 2020, but a verbal decision on where the QB would land was not expected until Wednesday at the earliest. The LA Chargers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers immediately became the two most likely destinations for Brady after the Tennessee Titans extended Ryan Tannehill on Sunday, and we will address that. And Brady made his league-shattering announcement on Tuesday morning. After all, Los Angeles had let Phillip Rivers walk into free agency and into an Indianapolis Colts uniform this offseason. We will address that as well. While Tampa Bay had played coy about its attachment to impending free agent Jameis Winston since the Combine. Around 6 p.m. Eastern, NFL Network's Jim Trotter reported the Chargers believed they were out of the running for Brady, whose priority was to stay on the East Coast because of family considerations. Just minutes later, Brady had an agreement in principle with the Bucs. And so begins Brady's second act, 21 seasons into his storied career. A 6-time Super Bowl champion, 14-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, and 3-time MVP with the Patriots, Brady is joining in Tampa Bay, an outfit that has not made the playoffs since 2007. The difference in winning culture between New England and Tampa Bay could not be more stark, but it's one Bucs brass is hoping Brady can mitigate immediately. Brady will inherit the third-ranked total and scoring offense from 2019, with weapons he hasn't seen in New England since the Randy Moss era. Tampa Bay is returning 2 1,000-yard receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, 2 pass-catching tight ends in O.J. Howard and Cameron Brott, and a rising running back in Ronald Jones, far more explosive than the Patriots' attack of years past. Brady surely took Tampa's talent into consideration when exploring his next destination. The Buccaneers will assuredly not be bringing back Jameis Winston, the former first overall pick and their starter for the last 5 seasons. An impending free agent, Winston wore out his welcome in Tampa Bay. As often as he threatened defenses with his aerial prowess, Winston threatened his own offense with mental errors. The Bucs QB threw 88 interceptions to 121 touchdowns over his stay in Tampa Bay. In 2019, he led the league in attempts, 626, and passing yards, 5,109, but also led the NFL in interceptions, becoming the first quarterback to throw for 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same season. Bucs coach Bruce Arians, whose no risk it, no biscuit style seemed to jive with Winston, said after the season that Tampa Bay would explore all options under center. Those options included bringing in Brady, a far steadier hand and inarguably the sport's greatest game manager, into the building. Winston will now hit free agency. The new league year began 4 p.m. yesterday, so he's already in there. The latest casualty of the QB carousel. Brady, on the other hand, won't be a free agent for long. Entering his age 43 season, the future Hall of Famer won't spend much time on the open market when the new league year begins, and his move to Tampa Bay becomes officially official. And Tom Brady and Buccaneers, imagine that. Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady. We'll get used to it eventually. And Patriot fans are going to have to as well. I mean, it is the end of an era for the New England Patriots. I mean, the old saying goes, nothing lasts forever. And this is proof of that. And as I told Michael Bullock in one of our phone chats recently, be grateful. Be grateful for the times and be grateful for all the history that Tom Brady made in a New England Patriot uniform. Who were the Patriots before Tom Brady got there? An average, mediocre team. They were jobbers, but then they started to rise. Once they got Drew Bledsoe in there, they really rised up the ranks after that. They started moving up the card. They moved up right around to upper mid card. But then once Brady got there and they started winning all those Super Bowls and AFC East division titles and AFC championships and all that, that's when they became, the biggest juggernaut in the NFL. They were to the NFL what John Cena was to the WWE. The biggest star, the biggest draw, the main event. They were in the main event. But now that Brady is gone, it's safe to say that they're no longer a main event mafia team. I think they've gone right back down. They've just gone right back down to the mid card. Which mid card? Well, we'll find that out come September. That is, if this madness is contained, and I pray to God it is by then. But anyways, all the history he made, all those AFC East division titles. And it always left me as a Buffalo Bills fan, and it always left MF as a Miami Dolphin fan asking ourselves, when is this nonsense going to end? When is this going to end? When is it going to be our turn? MF, I think we can safely answer that question with, it's over. This year, it's our year. The AFC East just became wide open. And to me, the two front runners right now, to me, if I'm going to be real honest with you, I think my Buffalo Bills are now the new front runners in the AFC East. With Brady leaving and knowing that we do not have to face him anymore. I mean, man, I have waited so long and I've endured so much. And this long national nightmare, well, at least that long national nightmare is finally over. The other one, hopefully, will be over sooner, much sooner rather than much later. But all I know for right now, the Buffalo Bills, to me, are now the favorites in the AFC East going into this year. Who will replace him? Rumors are swirling that it could be Cam Newton. Wow. Whoa. Okay. a guy who has had major noggin diva issues over the years, and you can only imagine what that's going to be like if it is indeed going to be his team now. So I know we got a lot to think about here, but all I know is Tampa Bay. Ho ho ho. You just hit the jackpot. That's all I know. And there are rumors now swirling that Brady wants Todd Gurley, and he also wants Brandon Cooks. You get Gurley and Cooks, look out. Tampa Bay just became a major player. Tampa Bay could be on the verge of flirting with main event status. I never thought I'd hear myself say that because they've been a basement dweller for years. They've been a jobber team for years. But to go from an enhancement team all the way up to, as of now, an upper mid-card team, but if you get those big names,
you could call them a perennial favorite.
Main event.
Yeah.
There's no question. So, but Patriot fans, like I said, and especially Michael Bullock, wherever he is, and Bullock told me that he wasn't surprised by any of this. I mean, he saw the writing on the wall, and he's okay with it. I mean, I wish he would have been here so we could have gotten his thoughts on it. But anyways, the end of an era in New England. MF and I mean, how many Patriot games have we done all these years?
A number of them.
Regular season and playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was the old Foxborough Stadium or Gillette Stadium or on the road, it didn't matter. And how many times have you heard me over the years, MF, say, Brady back and all that? So it's going to be so weird if we end up doing any Patriot games next year. It's going to be very weird for me to say a quarterback's name other than Brady. I mean, that's going to be weird. So, but Patriot fans, your time is up. Our time is now. So, and I, for one, as a Bills fan, and I know MF as a Dolphin fan feels the exact same way. We couldn't be any more ecstatic about this announcement. It's about time. It's about time that you let someone else have the spotlight for a change. So there's nothing more to say. I mean, MF, the end of an era in New England, but it could be the beginning of a brand new era in Buffalo and in Miami.
It is, no doubt about it. I mean, the like you said, the balance of power has altered forever, and I'm in a state of shock right now. Out of all the teams that you would think of, with New England and everything else, yeah, it was shocking, to say the very least. So, I mean, I think I said it. I would believe it if I saw it. And the shocking turn was that Brady made the announcement that I'm leaving. I'm going to be leaving New England and heading off to where else. But here's one thing that I heard that really kind of shocked me. And Anthony, I'm going to let you know about this. There was a rumor, and this was from Colin Cowherd, from Fox Sports. He reported this, that Brady was ready to re-sign with the New England Patriots. So a lot of people are like, wait a minute, what? Brady was going to stay? Actually, yes. Initially, there was talk that Brady was going to stay with the Patriots. It wasn't until a couple of deals went down that day that actually altered the decision of Brady to leave New England. So the layout goes like this. Around, I want to say early in the morning, early in the day, Brady was very much almost adamant that he was going to end up back in New England. Then a trade happened. Anthony, you'll get into it a little bit later. But two trades that happened altered the landscape of the NFL. something you guys did and something that the Texans and the Cardinals did. Those two decisions alone altered Brady's decision, and Brady wanted out of New England at that particular moment. So, Buffalo, you guys, because of what you did with that one trade, and we'll get into it later tonight, you single-handedly sent Brady out of New England. Pat yourselves on the back on that one. So, yeah. Then the question was, who is it going to be? Where are they going to land? Obviously, some of the tea leaves was looking at possibly California and the Chargers. But at the end of the day, you can go with the state income tax, which is 0. Maybe the warm weather of Florida, even though he is a California boy. A lot of people think LA would have been the better decision economically and the whole 9 yards, because because of the fact that Brady opened his own production company. Now he's going a la what Kobe Bryant was doing, a la what LeBron James is doing. So he's going for his own production company, which is based in LA. So it looked like it was a no-brainer. He's probably going to go to the Chargers. But Bruce Arians is the head coach, and Bruce Arians is a really good head coach. He's a quarterback whisperer. He normally turns guys into winners. On top of that, great young defense, where in one of the stats they were a top 5 defense when we're talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then on top of that, you also got 2 stud wide receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, a stud tight end in OJ Howard. Running game, this is where they're going to really need help. A running game, if they get Todd Gurley, that's a major shot in the arm. That would be better than any other team that they've gotten up to this point. And if they do get Brandon Cooks, where Brandon Cooks basically was one of the guys for New England, played with Brady, had a career year, but then again became a dead body when he got lit up in the Super Bowl. We all remember that mic'd up moment. One of the biggest woes me and Anthony Florio did in the Super Bowl. And at the end of the day, you got, and it's going to feel weird. And it's like you said, we're most likely not going to watch Tom Brady ever again because Anthony, we always do the AFC. We very, very rarely ever dwell into the NFC. We hardly ever go into the NFC. Maybe once a year we go into the NFC. We're AFC guys. We're most likely not going to see Brady ever again on our broadcast when we start the season, whenever that happens. So, I mean, yeah, it was a shocker. It was, nobody saw it coming, and it's a changing of the guard. Now, we can get into who this benefits more. Miami, Buffalo, the Jets. We can get into that a little bit later on. Yes, Buffalo right now maybe is on paper, but after what the moves the Dolphins have done, the Dolphins are probably in a lot more better position than people are realizing. And remember, after all the dominance of the Patriots, and they had a lot of years where they were dominating, there was a year in 2008 where the Patriots actually did not win the AFC East. Do we remember who is that team that did win it? Oh, yeah. It was the Miami Dolphins. We won the AFC East in 2008. So I get it. Brand warfare, brand supremacy. Obviously, Floyo now believes Buffalo's got the best shot to win the AFC East. And
Yep.
I'm not gonna knock it. They got a good young quarterback. They got a decent running game. Defense is top notch. I'm not gonna knock that. You definitely upgraded with your wide receiving core, especially who you got. So I'm not gonna poo-poo over it. But Miami also has a nice little young nucleus with a really revamped defense. A quarterback that, I know a lot of people still says that maybe a little over the hill, but hey, if you saw what he did in the last 8 games of the season, 5-3, including the knockoff in Foxborough, you can't deny it. There's something cooking down in South Florida that got me very, very interested with that said team. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun year whenever we get this going. So we'll see. Anthony, it's yours.
And Matthew, you'll be leading off this next story, and quite frankly, it's only fitting because this is your wheelhouse right here. This is something that you've been wanting to get into for a while now, but here you go. The NFL players, the NFL has reached a new CBA through 2030 in a result that will reshape the NFL and bring about labor harmony for the next 11 seasons. NFL Players Association members voted to ratify a new collective bargaining agreement that was previously approved by NFL owners in February. With a 1,019 to 959 majority vote that concluded at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday, the players signed off on a new CBA that will begin with the upcoming 2020 season and extend through the 2030 season. Notable changes in the new deal include the addition of 2 more teams to the playoff field for 2020, per NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, an option to increase the regular season to 17 games starting in 2021, and increases in minimum salaries, performance-based pay, and player revenue. Pelissero also reported NFL Management Council informed teams the salary cap for the 2020 season will be $198.2 million. And in a statement, the NFLPA said NFL players have voted to approve ratification of a new collective bargaining agreement by a vote tally of 1,019 to 959, the NFLPA said in a statement. This result comes after a long and democratic process in accordance with our Constitution. An independent auditor received submitted ballots through a secure electronic platform, then verified, tallied, and certified the results. And one last thing to get into before I give it to MF here, and that is Commissioner Roger Goodell. He released a statement shortly after the vote was released, which reads as follows. We are pleased that the players have voted to ratify the proposed new CBA, which will provide substantial benefits to all current and retired players, increase jobs, ensure continued progress on player safety, and give our fans more and better football. Goodell said in the statement, we appreciate the tireless efforts of the members of the Management Council, Executive Committee, and the NFLPA leadership, both of whom devoted nearly a year to detailed, good faith negotiations to reach this comprehensive, transformative agreement. All right, MF, you've been chomping at the bits to get into this. It's all yours.
All right. The way this was broken down, a lot of the star players hated this new deal. A lot of NFL players voiced their displeasure, from Aaron Rodgers to J.J. Watt to Russell Wilson to the Ponzi brothers to Richard Sherman. What was the biggest sticking point about this? The 17th game. Now, for all of us fans and broadcasters, we're very excited for the 17th game. We're excited because that means it's more football. More football that we would get, more action we get to cover, and it's more better for all of us in the grand scheme of things. Revenue will be great. Ratings will probably be through the roof. And it's also great in that aspect. The one sticking point for them is player safety. That's the one thing that the NFLPA was really against. Why do we need a 17th game? Why would we want to risk our lives, our health, for something like that? For a pay increase? Is that what it's about? So, which I get it. But for a lot of these guys, and I'm not talking about the big players, not the superstars, but for a lot of the younger guys, the guys on the rookie contracts, the guys who are making the league minimum, they're the ones that actually said yes to this deal. And it's not because of the 17th game. No, it's because of the pay. They actually got a 200% boost because of it. A lot of the under the guys were making about maybe $200,000. That's all they were making. With this new CBA, they make about $500,000, guaranteed $500,000, which is a lot better for them, for their families, for financial stability, and a lot of the times, these guys will not get opportunities like the millionaires, the biggest names in the NFL. So we're talking really a majority people, because you got your superstars, you got the headliners, you got your main eventers. But then you got your middle tier guys, the second string, third string guys. This is where they were catering to when they were making this deal. They were trying to make it look so good for them that it was an offer they couldn't refuse. And let me tell you, if the NFLPA would have said no, if they would have said no to this deal, then the ramifications probably would have been disastrous. This was probably the best deal that was on the table. And I know a lot of players were not happy about it, past and present. Pat McAfee was not on board with this. Neither was Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. He was not on board with this deal. A lot of the guys were actually not on board. And at the end of the day, we can say that while the NFL and the league owners seem like they were on a very united front, the players were definitely not. And the cracks were very evident in this. Now, a lot of the players, when they did the vote initially, 17 said yes, 14 said no, and 5 abstained. When the actual vote went down, 1,000 said yes, about 960 said no, 500 did not even vote. Imagine what the 500 who said voted, if they would have gone one way or another, how much would that have made a difference in the whole matter? Now, I'll say this. For all the gunk and all the craziness that we have given Roger Goodell, this is one of his finest moments. He can go out and say to the world that we have labor peace, that we in the NFL were able to come together and get the job done, and that now you don't have to worry about any problems for the next 10 years. Well, Roger, In one sense, yes. And you're absolutely right. There is labor peace. But make no bones about it. That line is very razor thin. And it definitely wasn't because of you that this got to the finish line. No. It was really the mid-card players that saw an opportunity and bucked the system from the millionaires, from the elite, that they wanted their hands on the pie. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. Now the question becomes, what is the future going to be? Well, the future looks very bright. Think about this. Next year, the NFL contracts for television runs out. Imagine what type of offers all the major networks are about to offer the NFL to get television rights to the AFC, the NFC, and more importantly, the Super Bowl. Everything will be up for grabs next year. From Monday Night Football to the Sunday night game to maybe bringing back Thursday night. We don't know because a lot of people doesn't really like the Thursday night game. Some do. Majority don't. And then what's the NFL packages are going to look like? Could we be moving off the mothership on CBS? Could we be going to Fox? Could we be going to NBC like we did back in the day? All I know is that next year is going to be very, very interesting as it relates to the NFL. So, yeah. There you go, Anthony. There's my thoughts. It's all yours.
Yeah, you took care of it all, enough. I mean, but I am very pleased about the 17th game. I'm very happy about that. I'm also very happy about the new playoff system with two new teams being added, which I couldn't be any more delighted about. I mean, I'm very happy about that. I mean, under the current format, certain teams couldn't get in because of, divisional rules or whatnot, but I don't think that's going to be an issue anymore. And I'm very happy about that. I'm also happy that they're going to take away a preseason game. I think 4 is too many. I would have thought 2, maybe 3 tops. So I'm more than okay with that. So that's all I can really, say about it. So so with all that being said, it's hot stove time. I mean, oh my goodness, so many. I mean, just wow. I don't even know where to start. I do know one. I definitely know which one I definitely want to start off with. My Buffalo Bills have signed Stephon Diggs. I mean, wow, that is huge. I mean, just amazing that we now have an amazing and a very talented wide receiver responsible for the Minneapolis Miracle. We all remember that. And well, looking at each team, I mean, of course, with my team, the Buffalo Bills, our biggest remaining needs are cornerback, running back, and offensive line. But Mario Addison agreeing to terms on a 3-year, $30.45 million deal that includes $15.25 million in guarantees. Vernon Butler signing with Buffalo, 2-year deal with up to $18 million with $9.3 million guaranteed. Of course, Stephon Diggs acquired in a trade with the Vikings, along with a 2020 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2020 first-round pick, 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick, and a 2021 4th-round pick. Quentin Jefferson expected to sign with the Bills on a 2-year deal. Sean Mannion re-signed with Minnesota. Josh Norman. We got Norman coming, a 1-year, $6 million deal, a maximum value of $8 million with incentives. Excuse me. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. MF, quickly share your thoughts real quick, and then I'll get back into my thoughts.
So who is this about?
The big free agent moves.
All right. So, look, I think we can clearly say everything that has happened with the free agency has just been absolutely insane right now. First off, Miami Dolphins making some big splashes, no doubt about it. With all the players that they got. Then, of course, the big shocking trade, DeAndre Hopkins absolutely going to the Arizona Cardinals. Whoever would have thought that was going to happen? That was a big move there. It just seems like right now the NFL is just going through this wild and crazy transition, and it's been interesting to say the very least. Free agency 2020 has absolutely just been annihilating, going absolutely crazy. Now we got Darius Slay going to Philadelphia. The trades that happened there. Craig Olt. So I mean, it really kind of feels like everything that has happened. It's just one of those situations where you never know. You don't know where everything's going to play out. You don't know how everything's going to go down. But, I mean, from the beginning to the end, and from every team that has up to this point, it's just been unbelievable. So, I mean, yeah, from Drew Brees staying to the franchise tag, Teddy Bridgewater going to Carolina, Phillip Rivers going to Indy, Ryan Tannehill staying home with the Tennessee Titans. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going, and it's just unbelievable how everything's been playing down. Amari Cooper staying with the Dallas Cowboys for 5 years, $100 million, and like I said, everything that has happened up to now has been an incredible flurry of action, and we just got started, and this is just 2 days in. Remember, guys, an NFL draft coming up. We got more free agency coming up, so it's been unbelievable. It's been going on, an incredible start to say the very least. Anthony, are you back, man? I guess he's still away. So
no, I'm here.
Oh, all right. So, all right, man. It's all yours, man.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. Yep, I'm back and I'm ready to share my thoughts on all the hot stove transactions. Let's get right to it. Stephon Diggs going to the Buffalo Bills. That obviously is a big one for me. Phillip Rivers going to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, I really didn't see that one coming, but that's just amazing for them. Also notable, Nick Foles and Jimmy Graham going to the Chicago Bears. Matt Ward's got to be licking his chops right about now. I mean, Foles was acquired in a trade with Jacksonville in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Foles' current deal will be restructured. Jimmy Graham, 2-year, $16 million deal. So massive for them. Amari Cooper, he's staying in Dallas. Derek Ferreira was very happy about that. Denver releasing Joe Flacco after 1 year. So I'm not at all surprised by that. The Detroit Lions, they acquired Duron Harmon in a trade from New England, along with a 2020 7th round pick, number 235 overall, in exchange for a 2020 5th round pick, number 172. And they also got Desmond Trufant. That's a big pickup for them as well, agreeing to a 2-year, $21 million deal. But the Houston Texans, though, made a lot of big moves here. Randall Cobb agreeing to a 3-year, $27 million deal, including an $18.75 million deal guaranteed. David Johnson acquired in a trade with the Arizona Cardinals, along with a 2020 second-round pick and a 2021 fourth-rounder in exchange for DeAndre Hopkins and a fourth-round pick. A.J. McCarron staying. Of course, like I said, Phillip Rivers, 1-year, $25 million deal to go to Indianapolis. They also got DeForest Buckner, acquired via a trade with the 49ers in exchange for Indy's 2020 first-round pick, number 13 overall. Colts are also giving Buckner a massive extension worth $21 million a year. Anthony Costanzo, he's going to stay with them, so that's all we can say on that. Of course, how about the Las Vegas Raiders? They made two big moves of their own. Marcus Mariota agreeing with a deal with the Raiders, and they also got Jason Witten for a 1-year deal. That's huge for them. Of course, the big news today: the LA Rams releasing Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley released by the Rams. So that's a game changer. Perhaps that rumor about Gurley going to Tampa could be a lot more true now. What else do we have? And then looking around, a couple of big moves for MF's Miami Dolphins. I mean, Jordan Howard, the running back, 2-year, $10 million deal. Byron Jones, 5-year, $82 million deal, including $54.5 million guaranteed. I know MF and Eric Carrier were very pleased with that move. Shaq Lawson, 3-year, $30 million deal. And Kyle Van Noy, 4-year, $51 million deal, including $30 million guaranteed. So that's big for them. Dan Bailey, the kicker, signing with Minnesota. Of course, as far as New England goes, Joe Thuney got franchise tagged. And Matthew Slater agreeing to a 2-year extension to stay in New England. Devin McCourty, 2-year, $23 million deal, $17 million guaranteed. Drew Brees, of course, we talked about it some time ago. Drew Brees staying with New Orleans, 2-year deal worth roughly $50 million. Taysom Hill, first-round tender for him. And for the Giants, they signed Colt McCoy to be Daniel Jones' backup. We'll see how that works out. Levine Toilolo, 2-year, $6.2 million deal, 3.5 guaranteed. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Darius Slay agreeing. He was acquired by Philly in a trade with Detroit in exchange for a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-rounder. As part of the deal with Philly, Slay receives a 3-year, $50 million extension with $30 million guaranteed. Looking around the other teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they signed Derek Watt, one of the Watt brothers. Him and TJ are going to be on the same team. Derek agreeing to a 3-year, $9.75 million deal that includes $3.25 guaranteed. Bruce Irvin looks like he's going to be signing with Seattle. Of course, we already talked about Greg Olsen, the tight end, 1 year, $7 million deal for them. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, the big one, of course, Tom Brady. We already talked about that. Shaquille Barrett, franchise tagged. Jason Pierre-Paul, re-signing with Tampa for a 2 year, $27 million deal. Derrick Henry was franchise tagged. Ryan Tannehill, 4 year, $118 million extension, including $62 million guaranteed with Tennessee. And as I look around all the teams, those were really...
Those were the most notable. Yeah, those were the biggest ones.
And, well, AJ Green was franchise tagged by Cincinnati. So
yeah.
There's that. Kareem Hunt, a second-round tender with Cleveland. And, of course, Carolina, not only signing Kyle Allen, but they also signed Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, 3 year, $63 million deal that includes $33 million guaranteed. They also got Russell Okung from the Chargers in exchange for Trey Turner. Seth Roberts, a new deal with Carolina. Of course, we talked about Buffalo getting most notably Stephon Diggs and Josh Norman going to Buffalo. Calais Campbell going to the Baltimore Ravens. Acquired in a trade with Jacksonville in exchange for a 5th-round pick. Ravens are finalizing a 2 year, $27 million deal with Campbell that will include $20 million guaranteed. They also got Michael Brockers. Brockers is also going to Baltimore. 3 year, $30 million deal, $21 million guaranteed. Let's see. And then finally, Arizona. Of course, Larry Fitzgerald, he's going to go 1 more year, a 1 year, $11 million deal. Kenyon Drake got the transition tag. But, of course, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, ooh-wee, what a weapon for Kyler Murray to have now. I mean, acquired in that trade with Houston, along with the 4th-round pick in exchange for the running back David Johnson, 2020 2nd-round pick and a 2021 4th-rounder, and that's pretty much it. I mean, those are pretty much the notable free agent moves that stand out to me. I mean, of course, Brady going there, Rivers in Indianapolis. I mean, I'm very intrigued by that move. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see if Indy will benefit from that. I mean, Indy, last year, Andrew Luck, 2 weeks before the season, announcing his retirement, and Jacoby Brissett taking over, and Indy got off to a very good start, but then they floundered down the stretch. So we'll see if Phillip Rivers is the answer to that. I don't know if he will be, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, Diggs going to Buffalo. I mean, our receiving core just gets a major upgrade there. Our defense doesn't need any retooling. I mean, we're fine as it is. Allen is a future star, and like I said, I still think they're the team to beat in the AFC East now that TB12 has finally taken his ball and left. About damn time for that. So, of course, Campbell going to Baltimore. I mean, the Ravens have always been known for their powerhouse defense. And for many years, when they had the likes of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs, I mean, that's when they were scary good. Now you got Campbell in there and Brockers. Oof. You thought Baltimore was scary this past year. I think they could be just as scary, if not scarier, this upcoming year. I mean, all these big moves. I mean, Nick Foles and Jimmy Graham going to Chicago. I mean, that's big for Ward. I mean,
actually also big for my friend Connor, who's a good friend of mine, and he's very excited about it. But the question that I have now with that move is, is Nick Foles there to be a backup, or is Nick Foles there to now
to take Trubisky's job?
To take Mitchell Trubisky's job.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Now, some people are saying, "Oh, it's to back up Trubisky," and I'm like, "You got a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP."
Yep.
And you want him to be the backup?
No.
Yeah. No.
No, it's Foles' team now.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. So, and you got Jimmy Graham as well. I mean, I know he hasn't been as dominant as he once was, but maybe this could be a renaissance for him. We'll wait and see. So, but of course, DeAndre Hopkins going to Arizona in exchange for David Johnson. I mean, both teams win. I mean, the running game gets a big upgrade in Houston. David Johnson, one of the more underrated running backs in there. And we all know how explosive DeAndre Hopkins is. I mean, you have him catching passes from Kyler Murray. I mean, that Arizona could end up being one of those out of nowhere teams. With the new playoff system, who knows? Maybe that could benefit them. You never know.
Think about this. DeAndre Hopkins on one side of the field and Larry Fitzgerald on the other. God, that when I heard that news, I absolutely marked as well. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Which moves did you talk about while I stepped away?
Basically, all the major ones. Like you said, even the Miami Dolphins one, all the Dolphins moves. I talked about the Phillip Rivers. Basically, all the ones that you've been covering, Anthony, I kind of touched a little bit. I didn't go very deep into it, but I did talk a little bit about it. So, yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
All right. I just wanted to be sure on that.
Yep. No, we're good.
Yep, we are good. So that's it, folks. I mean, that's all the big news in the NFL. I'm glad we were able to have a show at least for tonight, or this week rather. Next show, well, that's to be determined, because as you all know, the madness wiped out all the notable sports. I mean, if we were living life like we would normally be living,
we would be knee deep. Yeah, we would have been knee deep into the NCAA tournament, at least talking about some of the games tonight. Maybe live commentary on because of the late night games.
Absolutely.
So I mean, yeah, it kind of the whole sporting landscape has been affected by this coronavirus, and now, unfortunately, it's starting to affect players and coaches.
Yeah, Sean Payton. Sean Payton tested positive.
Sean Payton tested positive. Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics has tested positive. Kevin Durant and 4 players from the Brooklyn Nets tested positive. 3 Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I don't know if it's personnel or players. They tested positive. 2 LA Lakers have tested positive for it as well.
And Rudy Gobert, of course.
Rudy's the one that started the whole thing. Rudy was the one that consequently shut all the leagues down. All the leagues were shut down when Rudy got diagnosed with it. So, they say members of the 76ers and the Nuggets operations. Now, I don't know if that's players, if that's just people that work within the organization. They have tested positive for COVID-19. That's the scientifical name of the coronavirus, COVID-19. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, until we figure it out and until we get if the league starts, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. We're kind of just sitting and holding. You know, if we get more news like NFL like we got today, Maybe we do something again next week with the NFL, but right now we're kind of all on a we're on a wait and see, guys. We're on a holding pattern because with the leagues shut down till at least May, but there's been rumors about, you know, with the NBA, what they might be thinking about coming back, if they do come back, that they might come into the playoff system. There was rumors that the NHL was talking about maybe a 24 team playoff system.
That would be awesome. We'd make it.
Yeah, we would be in. We would be in. We don't know what we're gonna do when it comes to the NHL. There was talk about maybe best of 3, and then once we get to the final, we get best of 7s. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna break it down or how they're gonna get it. But 24 teams making the NHL playoffs. I don't know. Major League Baseball was talking about doing maybe a shortened season, like a 144, something like that, like 154 games,
like
or they might,
like they did in '95 with the strike.
Yeah, like they did it in '95. So we might have a shortened regular season. Playoffs goes on as usual. NBA, NBA right now, they don't know what they're gonna do. Though the only 2 sports right now that are safe from that could start on time and the whole 9 yards is right now the NFL and college football. Right now, as it stands, those 2 sports will start on time when their seasons begins, because they're hoping that this coronavirus will be handled by that everybody do your part. Please follow the orders of your state and local officials. If you don't need to go out, stay home. That's what they're doing. That's what they're making it out. Unfortunately, I don't get that luxury, and I believe Michael Bullock doesn't get that luxury. We both got to work in our situations.
I've been working from home.
You've been working from home, which is, that's great for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
at least for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see. Guys, just be careful. Please, please, please. Like I said, just follow the orders of the state and local officials. I know it's tough, and I know it's hard. But guys, together we can get through this. We've been through a lot in our lifetime, and I know we've been through a lot of tragedies and a lot of things. And
this is far and away the worst.
This has been nuts. This has been insane. But together we'll make it through. One day at a time. Just, like I said, just follow the rules. Just follow what they're saying. And just be there for one another. This is one of those times. So,
and we hope that amidst all of this chaos and madness and nonsense, that hopefully we provided somewhat of a distraction at least.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I know there's not much in the world right now, because of sports being shut down, but hopefully we were an avenue to help you guys out at least for this hour. So no doubt about it. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, with Cerebral Smack Talk. We did get some big news coming out for WrestleMania. We'll get into that. I don't know what they're going to do for SmackDown Live. I hope they're going to do something.
Well, 2 things are for sure. Rob Gronkowski will be there.
Yep.
He will address WrestleMania, the big details. And also Bill Goldberg and Roman Reigns are going to sign the contract for their Universal title match.
Yeah. So.
At least those for now.
So. And, well, as it stands, it'll be 10:30 tomorrow night. And, yeah, so we're done for the night, Anthony.
Yep. Yeah, we are indeed. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF over on Race Fan 95, it's Anthony Florio here. For Good MF, Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, D.D. Woodson, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other, especially now. And God bless. Be good to each other and all that. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk you've been watching, at least for tonight, this special edition of Strictly Sports. We don't know when the next one will be, but keep an eye out on our social media accounts. If we hear anything, then we'll let you know. But if for right now, as of now, as it stands, probably no show next week. So, and for the foreseeable future. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, of course, nothing more to say except bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching this special edition of Strictly Sports right here on Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one for now, Anthony Floyo, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.